Hey everybody, it's Jimmy aka Zero Tolerance 55, and today I'm bringing you another Star Wars The Old Republic Explained video. Before I start, I want to apologize for not making this sooner, and for not releasing videos as steadily as I would like to. To be 100% honest, I would love to tell you guys that I got tied up with work or school, or just something happened in my life that prevented me from making videos. When in all reality, it was the fact that I got hooked to the Old Republic MMO again and have been playing that nonstop. So videos kind of took a back burner, but I'm back to making them, and I'm starting with this one, which is going to be the first in a few focusing on Meetra Surik, aka the Jedi Exile from Knights of the Old Republic 2. If you're watching this, I'm assuming that you watched my last video about the Sith Triumvirate. If you haven't, I strongly suggest you do because it explains a lot of the backstory of the villains that Meetra comes across. One last thing is that throughout this video you'll hear me say both Meetra and Surik. They are the same person, and I do the same thing with Kreia and Darth Treya. It'll all make sense if you watch my past video on the Sith Triumvirate. So hopefully that doesn't confuse anybody and you guys can enjoy this video. With that being said, let's jump in. Meetra Surik was a female Jedi Knight during the time of the Mandalorian Wars. She'd been trained to all Jedi standards and led an average life for a Jedi. When the Mandalorian Wars broke out, she felt sympathy for those in need. Around this time, Revan and Malak had left the Jedi Order and encouraged others to do the same due to the Jedi Council's decision not to get involved in the war. After being recruited by Malak himself, Surik quickly rose within the ranks of Revan's Jedi, becoming one of his most trusted generals. If you watched my previous videos about Revan, you will recall the event that ended the Mandalorian Wars, which was the destruction of Malachor 5 due to a gravity well device being used to destroy the planet, killing thousands but ending the war. It was Surik who had been entrusted with the power of the device and ultimately flipped the switch when Revan agreed and told her to do it. When activated, the machine killed thousands of people, Jedi, Mandalorians, and Republic troopers alike. Surik felt their cries and pain through the Force, and without realizing it, she subconsciously severed her own connection to the Force to not only save her sanity, but also her life. She was now deafened to the Force, unable to feel it and answer its call. Due to this, Meetra was one of the only followers of Revan to turn away from the dark side after the war and to return to Coruscant to face trial for her crimes. Malak wanted to send an assassin to kill the traitor, but Revan refused, saying that she was already dead since she had no use of the Force anymore. Meetra went before the Jedi Council to plead her case, but the Council would not be swayed. They decreed that since she had followed Revan into war and fell to the dark side, she was to be exiled from the Jedi Order. She was forced to surrender her lightsaber, which she did, and then ordered to leave. Some members of the Council felt that they were too severe on her, feeling as if they punished her as a symbol to all the other Jedi, while other members, like Jedi Master Atris, felt they were being too lenient. Even though the Council was split on this decision, they all agreed on one thing. They were afraid of the wound in the Force that surrounded Meetra. Following the Council's decision, Meetra left Coruscant and made her way to the outer rim of the galaxy where she stayed for quite some time. During the rise of Revan and Malak's Sith Empire, Meetra stayed in the Outer Rim and did so well past the redemption of Revan and his defeat of Malak in the events of the first Knights of the Old Republic video game. Following the events of that, the Sith Triumvirate rose to power and began hunting Jedi as explained in my other video. The problem with these new Sith was that they worked from the shadows and no one could track them, so in order to lure them out of hiding, Jedi Master Atris, who had been in hiding as the only Jedi Council member still alive, orchestrated Meetra's return to known space. Atris then purposely leaked the information that Meetra had returned, knowing that the Sith would jump out of the shadows at a chance to kill another Jedi. Republic Admiral Cartho Nassi, who you might remember from the first Knights of the Old Republic, contacted the Harbinger, a Republic cruiser, and requested that they picked up Meetra. She was given status as a diplomatic passenger and would be escorted to Telos 4, hiding her identity in the process. During the trip, they received a distress call from a freighter, claiming to be under attack by a Sith warship. When the Harbinger arrived, they found both the Sith ship and the Ebon Hawk, which were both seemingly deserted, besides the body of Darth Sion aboard the Sith ship. The Harbinger picked up both ships and continued on their way. Over the next few days, crew members began disappearing, and eventually Darth Sion awoke, saying he had come for the Jedi. At this moment, cloaked Sith assassins revealed themselves and slaughtered the ship's crew. As the crew was murdered around her, Meetra was drugged and dragged away by her captor, an HK-50 series assassin droid. Darth Treya, who had been on board the Harbinger, using her previous identity as Jedi Master Kreia, so from now on we'll talk about her as Kreia, she was using that as a disguise and found Surik, or Meetra, and brought her back to the Ebon Hawk in an attempt to flee. During their attempted escape, They were fired upon by the Sith-controlled warship. Both Kreia and Surik were nearly killed and the ship was badly damaged. With the help of utility droid T3M4, Meetra Surik was healed and the ship was repaired enough to make the journey to the nearby Paragus mining facility. When Meetra awoke in the facility, she found Kreia with her, and the two of them realized they needed to make an escape. As they made their way through the facility, they realized it was abandoned except for mining droids which attacked on sight. To add to all the confusion, Meetra's severed force connection began repairing itself little by little. During their escape, they came across Adin Rand, a scoundrel who was locked up in the facility's brig. Not after they freed him from the brig and he agreed to join them, the Harbinger arrived containing Darth Sion and his Sith assassins who were hell-bent on killing Meetra because they believed she was one of the last remaining Jedi. The trio escaped the facility, but not before Darth Sion cut off Kreia's hand in a lightsaber duel. Following the duel, they fled, and as they fled the facility in the Ebon Hawk, the Harbinger opened fire upon them and ignited the gas-filled asteroids in the sector of space. The resulting chain of explosions completely destroyed the mining facility, even though both the crews of the Ebon Hawk and Harbinger were able to make their escape. When Meetra and her companions made it to the space station in orbit around Telos, they were taken into questioning for the destruction of the mining facility. After the investigation proved them innocent, they were told to stay on board the station until the inquiry was completely done. Rather than doing this, Meetra aligned herself with the Ithorians, which is a race of alien, on board the station, and helped them take down the corrupt leader of the Zerka Corporation. After helping the Ithorians bring him down, they let him use one of their shuttles to reach the surface of Telos, but they were shot down mid-flight by an anti-air turret owned by the Zerka Corporation. An Iridonian Zabrak named Bodur, saw the crash and pulled them free from the wreckage. Call it an act of the Force, call it an act of coincidence, but it just so happens that Bodur was the engineer who had designed the mass shadow generator that Meetra had activated at Malachor 5, and had actually served under Meetra during the Mandalorian Wars. It is for this reason that from then on, he always referred to Meetra as his general. While on the surface of Telos 4, they learned that the Ebon Hawk had been taken to the old planetary aqueducts in the polar regions of the planet. Stealing a ship and getting there, the group found Jedi Master Atris, very much alive, and she had been hiding on Telos 4. She was the former member of the Jedi Council and one of those who had sent Meetra into exile, as I stated before. Atris had gone into hiding when the Triumvirate had seized power and had spent her time collecting lost Jedi teachings and surrounding herself with Ichani sisters. These handmaidens, as they were called, were Force-sensitive but had vowed not to learn the ways of the Force. After a heated debate about the Mandalorian Wars, Meetra decided to leave Atris's compound aboard the Ebon Hawk, but not before T3M4 had downloaded Atris's database, which included records of Surik's trial. I stuttered there for a second, and also the locations of the remaining Jedi Masters. Until this moment, it was believed that Atris was the last surviving member of the Council, but this data proved that wrong and pointed the way to the remaining Masters. After they left and they were on their way, they realized one of the handmaidens, a woman named Brianna, was ordered by Atris to sneak aboard the Ebon Hawk and aid Meetra in her mission for two reasons. The first being to genuinely help Meetra and defeat the Sith, and the second being to spy on Meetra and make sure she didn't fall to the dark side again. With their newest member, Meetra's crew began their search for the lost Jedi to unite them against the Sith and also to find out why Surik was sentenced to exile in the first place. Alright, it's at this point that I'm going to stop with this part of this video. The part 2 will be coming soon. As you can tell, I have to split up Knights of the Republic 2 into 2 or 3 parts just because the sheer length and amount of information. But part 2 will be up very soon, I promise. As always, thank you guys for watching my video. I appreciate every view, piece of feedback, and subscriber that I get. So if you enjoyed, comment, rate, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. It helps let me know what you guys like and also what I need to improve upon. If you have any questions, comments, or video requests, let me know in the comment section below, or contact me on Twitter at SWTOR55. As well as Twitter, there are multiple other ways to get a hold of me, which I listed right here. If you want to add me on a gaming system or a specific game, go ahead. I'm always looking for new people to game with, to help, to just have fun with. So if you want to add me on Star Wars The Old Republic or Xbox or PlayStation, Steam, whatever I have listed, go for it. Just let me know you're a subscriber from YouTube so I don't accidentally deny you because I don't know who you are. If you guys have some free time, please check out these channels below. You know, they're a group of my friends, other people that work with me on SSDD Productions, all that fun stuff. And also, check out ssddproductions.com, which is our new official website. So thank you guys for your continued support, and a new video will be up soon.